without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get this damn reaction going. Shout outs to Blackie Speaks. Why Rihanna rejected Drake? And you know it is that Drake has been holding on to Caribbean essence like a mouthpiece ever since it is that he came across Rihanna itself. And I can understand Rihanna is a bad thing. You understand? But he literally was just W segue for sure. Absolutely. So without further ado, let's get into this damn video, y'all. Let's do it.
Now, what's going on with you today? Thank you so much for joining me. Today, we're going to have a little conversation about why Rihanna, not Rihanna, Rihanna rejected Drake. So first of all, why am I making this video? Well, you might have heard what happened the other day. If you guys don't know what happened, Drake was performing the other day, right? He's on tour. And then the song Work, where Rihanna played during his set. And so right as the song came on, Drake said, "I don't sing this song anymore. You could sing it for me," talking to the crowd.
Sing this song anymore. You can sing it for me.
I have to say this. I have to say this. We have literally just been in the most nastiest essence of sassy nigga apocalypse. And I just can't stand it, bro. I can't. And Drake is a little sassy. I have to call it to what it is. And I'm not saying that it is because he's light skinned. I'm just saying that, you know, just to be like, oh, I don't sing this anymore. Y'all can sing it for me. That is sassy. That is a little sassy, you know? It's okay. It is okay to say it is like, you know, am I sassy? Bash, you're not supposed to ask that question. No, you're not sassy, gang. But, you know, I get it. The fact that it's like, you know, if you had a special relationship with Rihanna and everything, cool. All right, bet. We don't fully know that. For sure, because it's not like it has just been openly talked about. But you ain't had to sit there and do this. Sometimes you gotta be like, all right, you can vibe out. You didn't even have to sing it. He let that be known it is that, oh yeah, I don't sing this no more. You didn't have to let us know that.
Now, a lot of people have been speculating whether or not this was a shot at Rihanna or if it was just him not wanting to perform the song. Personally, I think this was actually a shot, and that's because of their complicated history. So in this video, I want to go over that, and I specifically want to talk about why Rihanna, in the end, decided to reject Drake. Now, Rihanna and Drake's first encounter dates all the way back to 2005, when Riri was shooting the music video to her song, Pon de Replay, and that's when she was first introduced to Drake. Rihanna at the time was 17 years old and Drake was 18 years old. Now, Drake served a purpose with being at this video shoot, and that was what? He was playing background music at the restaurant as people ate their dinner. So Rihanna had no clue Drake was at the time because he wasn't famous. So this was their first encounter. Now,
and I had to say this too. I'm so like, you know, not because of the fact that Rihanna and we are related from our father's side of the family, but you know, I'm just happy that somebody from Barbados has made it as far as that she did to become a billionaire. You know what I mean? A billionaire, like a successful brand with a clothing line, good skincare, makeup, all that. When I say Fenty, just she got the fucking last name Fenty, and just it's just soared. You know what I mean? Women back then, boy, and especially like her breakout album, boy. I love Rihanna. I love Rihanna. Nobody can ever make me hate this woman.
In May 2009, Drake and Rihanna went on their first date. Shortly after Riri's very public split from Chris Brown in 2009 after the assault, Drake and Rihanna were spotted at a Lucky Strike in New York, which is a restaurant. And according to sources, they were locking lips all night, okay, just making out, having a good time. In November 2009, however, just a few months later after their first date, Rihanna stopped by a radio show to discuss her very public breakup with Chris Brown, and she also addressed the rumors about whether or not she was dating Drake. During this radio show, Rihanna shut down the rumors and revealed that she likes hot and older men, the opposite of Drake, who was of course very young at the time. And she insisted that she and Drake were, however, still friends. As the radio host started to inquire more and more about the potential relationship she had with Drake, Rihanna kept on denying that there was ever a romance between her and Drizzy. Was Rihanna embarrassed of the relationship she had with Drake, or did she simply not want the media to pry? We don't know which answer is right, but the point.
I think after what has happened with Rihanna, like I talked about this earlier within the stream, when you made it to a level of like being a public figure in any form of way, and then you have a relationship that is so open, and then an incident like hers and Chris Brown's, it affected both of them in different ways. So now you got the public eye on this. I think after that situation, that may have scarred her to where she did not want to talk about her relationships openly unless if it had to be like, all right, cool. Like, when ASAP Rocky is like, you got two babies from it. Like, you can't hide that, sis. But, I feel her. I know that interview had Drake crying in the car because that's how he was talking about in Marvin's room. Seriously? I know he made a couple albums about a couple songs about her, but I didn't know which song in particular was about her. Like I just had found out about the whole like beef between him and Kendrick, and I was like, damn, these are the songs that I was singing the whole time. Never knew it was a beef. So like I damn in Marvin's room that fuck. You heard that nigga Rocky lying about Rihanna making another album. I mean I've heard for a while that they're trying to craft up another album with Rihanna. And literally last year, Rihanna she wanted that to be her year to break out, but then of course she got pregnant again. And yeah, it's just a level of just mother duties. And she's not done having kids. She's openly said that like she would love to have a girl. So it's gonna happen again at this rate. So I'm not even. I've already put that in the back of my mental. There's like we're gonna be waiting on an album. We already have been for over 10 years. So at this rate, just
Still
keep on bringing the
stands.
babies,
She
girl.
kept on denying that there was ever a relationship between both of them. As a response to Rihanna denying the relationship with Drake, Drake did what he does best, and he put all of his emotions in the music. On a song Fireworks from Thank Me Later, Drake said the following on a second verse. I'm just such a gentleman, you should give it up for me. Look at how I'm placing all my napkins and my cutlery. And then on this part right here is when he addresses Rihanna, right? He says, I could tell it wasn't love, I just thought you fuck with me. Who could have predicted Lucky Strike would have you stuck with me? And Lucky Strike was, of course, the place where they went on
Oh
their first date.
boy.
Drake continued on the song and said, damn, I kept my wits about me luckily. What happened between us that night, it always seems to trouble me. Now all of a sudden, these gossip rags want to cover me and you making it seem like it happened that way because of me. Now Drake wasn't done yet, however. He continued and he said, but I was curious, and I'll never forget it, baby. What an experience. You could have been the one, but it wasn't that serious. There was smoke in the air before that was me clearing it. And then he continued and said, that felt good. All in all, I learned a lesson from it, though. You never see it coming, you just get to see it go. Yeah, I should have looked up in the sky at first. Now I can see it in her eyes. Fireworks.
Wow. Oh man. Listen. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Us West Indian woman, when y'all come across us West Indian ting them, you're gonna get hooked. You're going to get hooked by us, baby. She rocked that nigga's world. She rocked that nigga's world. He ain't never felt that's the reason to why it is that he been holding on to the Caribbean essence like a mouth guard. That's why he been doing it. It was that right there. The good sis put that thing on him, and he's been sprung out ever since. That's what it is. That's what that thing is. Like, damn, And with Rihanna, with my dear, what I'm saying, the good sis Riri. She strikes me as a woman to where, and especially during the time like after everything that happened with Chris Brown and everything, that she was not trying to claim niggas like that. And if you ever been around a woman who is like, I'm not even trying to be locked down like that. Like I got other things it is I'm trying to do and everything. And let's say, for example, like us when we got needs and stuff like that, like yeah, like like get a little lonely and stuff like that at night and shit like that. She probably went ahead, put that thing on him, and was just like, no, nah, we just friends. You gonna say it is we friends after what it is we did that night? We was seeing like I had you seeing fireworks. You gonna do this to me? I can see why Marvin's Room became a thing. I can see why. Just saying that, I can already hear Marvin's Room just being played in my head within that by itself. That woman rocked that man's world, you know? So that makes a lot of sense. Light skinned men be doing the most, I swear. Nah, that's funny. I told you that interview had Drake crying in the studio. He wanted Rihanna bad. Oh, I believe it. I believe it now. 'Cause sheesh, I didn't even pay attention to these damn lyrics like that.
So this entire verse was about the experience that he just had gone through with Rihanna. Now the interesting thing about this verse right here is when Drake said, now all of a sudden these gossip rags want to cover me and you making it seem like it happened that way because of me. And that's interesting because Drake on his
Have I ever
specific
made a
part right
man feel
here.
that way? Yes, I have. And when it comes down to where you rocking somebody's world and then you're in a space to where it is you're not, it's either you feel like you're not compatible with them, or you're just like, all right, I just want to focus on this. Like, I don't want anything too serious. As much it is, I would like to say this. Men also, both men and women and non-binaries, when you say it is like, all right, I'm not in a space to where, you know, you said, what about men? What's up, JD? When you're in a space to where it is like, you're not ready for that. When I say it is that they still try. And it's with women too. I used to think it was solely just women, but no, it's men too. It's men too. Like a man, and I think it's worse within, like, if a man tells a woman, "Oh, I'm not ready for a relationship. This is in this." What's the first thing it is that woman gonna do? She'll be like, "Oh, well, maybe it is if I be here for him. I cook him a meal. I put that thing on him and everything like that. This is and this is gonna make him change his mind." You know, Ari had probably had him yelling "bomba clock." That is sick, bro. So I'm sure it is. Like I said, I'm sure Rihanna put that thing on Drake, and Drake was just like, "Yep, this is the one. This is the one I want. This is the one it is. I want to bring to my mom. I see a future with Rihanna. This is and this." And Rihanna was just like, "No." Had that man crying in the damn studio, like, fuck. There will always be that yearning for a competition, even at your lowest. So to take the strength to realize when you aren't ready for it. Yeah. So to answer the question, yes, I've made a man feel that way, but it sucks at the end of the day that now that I think about it, I made a man feel that way, and I wasn't even in the space for that by itself, because then that puts more damage to that other person. Now somebody may feel a certain type of way towards me, or maybe even the color blue, towards me, and put that on to other women and stuff like that. And then sometimes you gotta put your accountability, pants on and be like, I'm sorry, you know. Eh, that's a little heavy. That's a little heavy to admit those things. That is a little heavy to admit those things. But yes, I've made a man feel that way. I'm not proud of that, but yeah, I
Was kind
have.
of insinuating that Rihanna might have told him that she feels like he's using her for clout. Now that wouldn't be such a crazy thing because first of all, Rihanna has always been a bigger artist than Drake up until the point where she stopped dropping.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's one thing I will not allow that Blackie speaks. Drake has been in the game. He may have switched from acting to music, but that man was always musically inclined. Even in Degrassi, Jimmy had a whole rapping segment. You feel me? He's been there. You gotta, don't sleep on Mr. Aubrey. He's been in the game for quite some time. That's why it works for him to do the switch. Not everybody can able to be a child star actor or actress, and then the music stuff works. Miley Cyrus is another person that is I could think of. Um, who else? Who else was like a child star and did music? I want to say Raven Simone at one point, but that didn't work out. Selena Gomez is another one. Um, Ariana Grande is another one. That's not an easy task to do, to switch from that. So Demi Lovato is another one. That's true. That's true. So like, let's not sit there. Justin Bieber, yeah. Like, let's not sit there and put some disrespect on Drake, because that man literally has been in the game for a while. She's, as much as I love the good sis Rihanna, but That man has more pull. For sure, for sure. Oh yeah, the Jonas Brothers. That's also true. Oh, yep, yep. Y'all giving me more names. Thank you. Yo, true. I true. I true. You know what I'm saying? This for you. Mwah. You know?
in music. Even now, arguably, you could say that she's still bigger than him, despite the fact that she doesn't release any music, right? So Drake was the little guy in that relationship with Riri, because usually Drake doesn't date women who are more famous and successful than him. So Rihanna was an exception. She was not only more famous at
Now I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about that. Like, wait, has I mean Drake loved them strippers. He loved them strippers. He loved them models, them strippers, you know, them young thing them. I can't. Wow. I think wow. And I thought for the longest time it is that him and Nicki Minaj had something, but I guess I was wrong with that. But huh? Yeah, I can't think. I can't. Didn't he? Yeah, he did. He did. He did. He did date SZA. That is okay. Yeah,
at the
that's
time,
that's
because
what I was thinking. I'm like,
Rihanna back then was like
is
a
that true?
global superstar. She still is, but she was just really big back then is what I'm saying. But she was not only more famous, she also had more status, she had more money, and she was more talented than Drake. And it seems like a lot of those things ended up coming out on this one verse right here. Now, moving on, let's talk about what happened after this, because something really interesting happened after this, and this is when things kind of started to really change for the worse. Because Drake at this point had a thing with Rihanna. He, it appears, expressed a little more affection than she was ready for, which is the very thing that got his ass friend zoned. They had already gone on their first date. They knew each other intimately, right? So despite the fact that there was like a little distance between them here, and the fact that Rihanna friend zoned Drake by saying we're just friends and this romance never existed, at the end of the day they were spotted at that restaurant, and Rihanna at the time was into Drake. But it was what happened after this that kind of ruined everything.
Uh-oh.
On June 2010, Drake did an interview with the New York Times where he admitted that he felt used by Rihanna. Drake stated that he felt like a pawn and that he feels like Rihanna did him the way he's done so many women throughout his life. So let me read this excerpt for you right here from this interview. Drake said the following: "I was a pawn. You know what she was doing to me? She was doing exactly what I've done to so many women throughout my life, which is show them quality time, then disappear."
W sis. W sis. That's exactly what I was saying. That was a level of like I said, when you come across women it is that's not in that same space, or they just you're not the one for them that what they thought. Because obviously it is like liking somebody and even getting to the point of like spending quality time is a mutual thing. Obviously it is just a level of like, okay, you know, like like I see that this is in this, but then your feelings change, and then it's like, nah, you're not the one. That that switch can hurt, and then on both sides, both men and women. You know that hurts. Yeah, that hurts a lot. We reacted to a lot of PG's videos lately, Ari. The fact that y'all call PG Drake is hilarious, bro. Like, hi, Stinky. Hi. Like I see it, but in the same breath, I'm like, ugh. If anything, I always like to say this that Drake got a little black. Not Drake. PG got a little black in him. That's that hair texture. It's that hair texture. I think I'm like, you know. But let's say Puerto Ricans be dark skinned too. You know what I'm saying? So like Puerto Ricans be having a little bit of black in there. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So I had a feeling, like I said, I had a feeling Rihanna was either just not in the mental space of wanting to be public about something, or whatever the reason it may be. She just was not mentally there, and it was just like, I'll spend some time with you. You know what I'm saying? We can canoodle, but that's about it. We still friends at the end of the day. Boom. Asians getting their hair textured too now. Oh, they've been doing that. Just watching the whole process of that is insane. But Asian people got swag. They got a little swag to them. They have a little drip to them. I'm not gonna even talk my shit. I've seen Asians. I've seen preppy Asians, and then I've seen them street Asians that will dress a certain type of way, and they just have that essence of style and fashion. I'm actually learning about that in fashion class now. Um, about them, like they're always decked the fuck out. I can't even be mad.
Let me read that again. I'm sorry, I just could not resist. She was doing exactly what I've done to so many women throughout my life, which is show them quality time, then disappear. I was like, wow, this feels terrible. Drake
Like, you know what I'm saying? Pulling a nigga on a nigga. You know, you it's let me stop.
then followed this up by
Let me stop.
saying, I'm at one of the greatest places in my life. I'm on top of the world. I'm extremely confident. So it's very rare that anybody, let alone a woman that I like, makes me feel nervous or makes me feel small. Wow, that's crazy. So it looks like Drake was more than intimidated by Rihanna.
No, that nigga was in
Obviously,
love.
some people might say that it's because of her status or her money or all the other accomplishments that she had back then that Drake just could not compete with. The point still stands, Drake felt small next to Riri. And I'm not sure if Rihanna, or any other woman for that matter, would be very attracted to a man who feels diminished by her presence. So maybe it ain't a surprise why things ended the way they ended. I digress. Now fast forward to sometime later that year on October 25th, 2010, when the second single from Rihanna's Loud album, What's My Name, dropped. The song featured Drake, and Rihanna and Drake were depicting a love story in this song. What's My Name featuring Drake ended up becoming a hit record,
still love
and it
this
went on to
song.
become Rihanna's third #1 single in 2010. In February 2011, a couple months after the release of What's My Name, as the song was continuing to rise, Rihanna and Drake's connection seemingly grew stronger and stronger. During the 2011 Grammy Awards in February, Rihanna was seen seductively dancing on Drake as she was
remember
singing,
this.
Not everybody knows how to work my body, knows how to make me want it, but boy, you stay up on it. They also had another very intimate performance of What's My Name
remember
at the
this.
NBA All-Star Game halftime show, as Drake and Riri's relationship was seemingly continuing to grow back together. There are a lot of different rumors floating around the media
that
regarding if
performance-
Drake and Rihanna were a thing. In October 2011, however, Drake made a little confession in this interview where he was talking about his relationship with women, but specifically got into a conversation about his relationship with Riri. Now, Drake was asked the following question: has a woman ever hurt you? Drake said, I've probably been hurt more than I've hurt someone else. It's a different world with the microscope of the internet, he said. They then asked Drake, what makes it so hard? Drake said, to get women to trust you. When you have a woman in your life and you're telling her, I'm in New York working on my album, and you're actually in New York working on your album, but they're saying you're in the Bahamas with so-and-so, it's hard for her to believe. I've had women lash out based off the fact that they think I'm lying when I'm not. And this is when the interviewer asked Drake about the Fireworks verse, and this is what they asked. Fireworks was about being Rihanna's rebound guy, right? Drake responded saying, not necessarily the rebound guy. The interviewer then asked, did she hurt you? And this is what Drake said. At the time, it hurt, but she didn't mean to. I'll never put that on her. I was hurt because I started to realize what it was. I guess I thought it was more. That was the first girl with any fame that paid me any mind. You spend days reading about this person in the magazines. All of a sudden, you have this #1 song and you're at some birthday party and there she is. And you're just some naive kid from Toronto staying in some shitty ass hotel who got invited to this party on a whim. That's how it happened. So this definitely gives us a lot of insight into how Drake felt in relation to him being with Rihanna, because at this point we know that he was very fond of Riri, who wouldn't be,
absolutely.
right? But her presence also made him feel small. And on top of that, here Drake was saying that Rihanna was the first girl with any fame that paid him any mind. So from Drake's perspective, even having Rihanna's attention in the first place made him feel very lucky. And when knowing the history behind when Rihanna was filming her music video in 2005 and Drake was in the cut just literally there to change the music as people were eating dinner, you kind of understand now that Drake already put Rihanna like on this crazy pedestal before he even got together with her. I mean, he himself was even saying it in this interview. You spend days reading about this person in the magazines. So to him, Rihanna was a celebrity before she was a person. Drake, in other words, was infatuated with the idea of Rihanna before he even got the chance to get to know Robin Fenty. On April 2012, Drake released the visuals for a song, Take Care, featuring Rihanna, where they were seen hugging, caressing, and embracing each other throughout the video. This once again served as confirmation that Drake and Rihanna were on good terms. In June 2012 is when things got a little heated because this is when Chris Brown ended up getting involved. Drake and Chris Brown were out partying at a New York nightclub when their entourages ended up getting into it. Members of Drake's entourage stopped Chris Brown as he was leaving the club. This altercation led to bottles getting thrown in the club, and Chris Brown actually ended up getting hit in the face. While the cause of the fight was never truly confirmed, it is speculated that it occurred due to the fact that both Chris Brown and Drake had a relationship with Rihanna. The rumors that Drake and Riri were dating got killed once again in September 2012 when Rihanna wasn't clapping for Drake after he won the Best Hip Hop Video at the MTV VMAs. Fast forward to September 2013 when Drake paid Ellen DeGeneres a visit where he was asked about Rihanna, and Drake said, "Yeah, great girl. We had our moment and I'll always support and have love for her."
Yeah, great girl. We had our moment, and you know, I mean, always support and have love for her, and yeah.
A little nervous. Okay.
Drake was insinuating that him and Riri weren't a thing anymore. In February 2014, during an interview with Rolling Stone, Drake continued to praise Rihanna. "She's the ultimate fantasy," Drake said in relation to Rihanna. "I mean, think about it. Like, man, that would be good. We have fun together, she's cool and shit, but we're just friends. That's my dog for life. I'm not after pussy like I was 3 years ago when I was trying to make up for all the years when no girl will talk to me. But I haven't met somebody that makes everybody else not matter," Drake said. Despite all the constant denies of them having a romantic relationship, Drake and Riri in March 2014 were spotted in London holding hands and getting into a car together. In October 2015, during a cover story for Vanity Fair, as she was talking about her dating history in this interview, Rihanna stated that her last boyfriend was Chris Brown, completely ignoring that there was ever any history between her and Drake.
Oh my God. I mean, technically she's not wrong, but she's also like fabricating that's a heavy fabrication. And I'm not gonna sit there and get into like this girl dating history and who she's smashing and stuff like that. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, just because it is like you have sex with somebody don't mean, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm not alleging it is that she did or not, but just because it is you have sex with somebody doesn't mean it is like, oh yeah, like, oh, we go together type shit. You know what I'm saying? Or I spent some time with this person and stuff like that. Until it is some man ask you to be like, would you be my girlfriend and stuff like that? That's when it is like official. But damn, Kendrick Lamar voice in the background. Now that's petty. At this point, it's on him for not getting the message. Yes, I think I think so. I think so. Oh man. Damn. But she's not damn. She must have really like when I say this, like she probably really got her feelings hurt by Chris Brown, which I can understand because she had a mentality of what niggas do. And that by itself of like being in that mental of just like, all right, cool. I'm not doing all that. Just because it is, we may do things together and we may spend some quality time. You know what I'm saying? You may make me see the moon, the stars, the sun, the fireworks and everything like that. Does not mean it is that you are my nigga. Not everybody can handle that. Like it's a different story when it is like, you know, men say stuff like this because that's usually notorious for men saying that. But when a woman does this, ooh, men can't handle that at all. That is a punch to the ego right there. Like I bet you a guy and you come across this girl and it's like, all right, cool. Like she put it on you and stuff like that. I'm sure it is. You guys can able to think of a shorty that either have given something of immaculate, something of in your life. Doesn't have to be sexual. Anything of like a spark within your life. And then it's just like nah, I'm okay. And you just like, but you just gonna do that shit and just leave? It's the same thing with us. We experience that. Us as women, we experience that too. Coming across a man it is that do something for us, or have us seeing the stars, the moon, the sun, hollering, all this other stuff and everything like that behind closed doors, and be like, yeah, nah, you know, I'm not ready for a relationship right now. You know, that is so humbling. That is humbling on both sides, you know? Jesus, damn. The good sis Rihanna was like, yeah, nah. Speaking of Chris, have you heard bros beefing? Yes, I did hear about that. I did. I did. I
In
did.
2016, Drake and Rihanna decided to work together on 2 different instances. She dropped her hit Whack 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 Whack, which of course featured Drake, and the steaming music video where they were intimately dancing together yet again sparked rumors that they were together. Rihanna, however, on an interview with Ellen DeGeneres, confirmed that she was single at the time.
So is there someone that you want to be with right now?
I'm single right now, and it's not that I'm like, oh, pro single, yes, I hate men. I just think that I just have so much on my plate that I can't even find the time to entertain a steady relationship or anything serious or even a text. Right now, it's just crazy.
Later that
That's
year,
disgusting,
Drake
Babs.
dropped his album Views, and Rihanna was featured on the song Too Good. In August 2016, Drake
Oh my
decided to
gosh.
surprise
Views, if you like, listen, if you're gonna talk about Drake's music, Views, Take Care, Nothing Was the Same. If you're reading this, it's too late. It's just an unskippable albums, man. All the boy Views had, especially in 2016, well, it was Ariel at the time. The, oh man, like a summer of 2016 was just an immaculate summer, but it was also very traumatic at the same time for your girl. But man, Views just had like, it was beautiful. I love Views. I love that album.
Rihanna with a billboard. This was ahead of the MTV Video Vanguard Award, and Drake decided to surprise Ree with a billboard congratulating her on the award. Congratulations to Rihanna from Drake and everyone at OVO, the billboard said. It looks like Rihanna appreciated this gesture, and she posted it on Instagram writing, "When he extra." Fast forward to the act did this gesture. And
When he extra did. I love the caption. What were you doing in 2016, 2018? Well, 2016, I was living in Albany, New York. Wasn't until December of 2017 this I moved from Albany out to the DMV. So it's more just like, oh, needless to say, I got my heart broken during that time. I got my heart broken like shit during that time. So it was a very dark time for your girl. And it was more just like finding self, just being pissed off about everything. I got to a point I was fed up with a lot of things during that time. Um, Relationship, job, you know, feeling stagnant and everything. Because Albany, New York, don't got shit up there. I'm sorry. I had the lowest rent I could possibly have within a place, but I was only paying like $650 for rent out there. But it's just everything was slow pace, and I felt like I wasn't moving, I wasn't progressing, and I made that leap of faith, and I said I'm out of here. I'm gone. I'm gonna put everything in the car and I'm gonna drive. I don't know where I'm gonna end up staying at. Originally, I was gonna go to Georgia, but I ended up landing out in the DMV. Ain't that crazy during that time? So yeah, it was a little bit of trying to get everything together.
and she posted it on Instagram writing, "When he extra." Fast forward to the actual award show, and Drake decided to deliver a heartfelt speech where he was professing his love for Rihanna.
I
Now this
remember
speech right
this.
here is what changed everything,
Secondhand
because after what Drake
embarrassment.
said, Rihanna decided to speak on their supposed relationship by saying that they didn't even have a friendship, but they were not enemies either. Now this speech was a complete disaster for a couple reasons. He was supposed to share a very short message introducing Rihanna and then giving her the award, and that should have been the end.
That's
However, Drake had another plan, and he decided to spend 3 whole minutes reminiscing on that very first meeting they had in 2005, which was fairly insignificant to Rihanna because back then, she was a superstar, but Drake was the guy serving food at the video shoot.
I was introduced to her as a kid who played background music at the restaurant as people ate their dinner.
That was Riri's first introduction to Drake. So he was telling the story about how he met her, and he was sharing how great of a woman he thought she was. But he did this for what felt like an entire hour, and he decided to make this speech about how he felt about Rihanna, which she actually said made her very uncomfortable. We'll get to that in a
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if it is like, a man that is you've kind of had to explain in details over and over and over again of like, hey, listen, we're just friends. Let's keep it that way. All of that. And this man is literally going on a whole tangent. This nigga's yapping about his dying confession for you, and you don't feel that same way. That is secondhand embarrassment. Oh man, just I remember seeing this live on TV, and I'm just like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I think the like nothing more worse than this is when Joe Budden had a proposed to Tahiri after like 13 years and like cheating on her and everything like that. And she said no publicly. That enough is secondhand embarrassment. I don't normally experience too much of that, but those situations right there was just like, I don't know how to handle this situation that I'm seeing, and I'm not even visibly there. So yeah, nah.
second, instead of having a short little introduction speech, getting to the business, and handing her the award.
She's someone I've been in love with since I was 22 years old.
At the end, you see Drake leaning in for a kiss, and
she
opts
said
out
no.
to kissing her neck instead because it didn't look like Rihanna wanted that kiss. Now, a lot of people were speculating that Rihanna was very uncomfortable as Drake was giving this speech right here, because you see her in this clip standing there just making a bunch of facial expressions that look a little strange, perhaps maybe because she was uncomfortable, but we could never really know what those facial expressions meant. A lot of people decided to believe that she was just nervous in the moment, and that's all there was to it. Now, that was until May 2018, almost 2 years after this speech. Rihanna was doing this interview with Vogue, and this entire speech came up in the conversation. Rihanna winces slightly at the mention of the rapper's name before her eyes glaze over with cool indifference. The article says, at this moment, the interviewer asked her about the moment where Drake was delivering this speech where he was professing his love for her, and this is what Rihanna said. The VMAs is such a fan-focused award show, so having that energy around me and knowing the people who had received the award in the past made it feel like a big deal, Riri said. And then Rihanna followed that up by saying this: waiting through that speech was probably the most uncomfortable part. I don't like too many compliments. I don't like to be put on blast. She was then asked about the current state of her and Drake's relationship, and this is what she said. When I ask about the current state of their friendship, her attitude is sanguine. We don't have a friendship now, but we're not enemies either. It is what it is, Rihanna said. So she obviously did not appreciate the speech, but can you blame her? I mean, Drake did, at the end of the day, make her stand through a 3-minute speech that had nothing to do with her necessarily, where he was essentially vomiting out his feelings for her. I don't know what you think, but to me, this entire speech just felt so forced. Drake could have literally just said all this privately, but instead he did.
It almost is like stealing somebody's shine and then making it about them and then saying like, oh yeah, like I had this love for this woman and this and this. I guess that was his opportunity to really sit there and just try to show how much it is he really cares for her. But it's like I understand the thought process, the execution, but it's just, gang, something like this, you should have just talked to her privately about that. You know what I mean? Bro wanted his Kanye moment, right? Imagine 3 minutes of watching this babble on and on and on. Like, like that's, gang, wrap it up, gang. Or at least have a private conversation, but you know what I'm saying? Not on the stage. So yeah, I can understand why Rihanna feels that way. I feel the same way too. Like, if I'm about to get an award, or let's say like I'm at my graduation or some shit like that, and then you make it about you going ahead and saying how much is your dying confession for me and everything, and I'm around like, family, friends, all of that, like have eyes on me, I'm gonna feel uncomfortable. That's not the time to do it. It's not, and especially if it's not mutual. It's good narcotics.
did it on his big stage in front of millions of people. And the purpose? Well, he wanted to mask this as, I'm just praising the artist Rihanna, when really he was professing his love for her, and that's what it
Yeah,
was.
that's what it
Seemed
was.
something like straight out of a Disney movie, if you ask me. Only difference is, this public display of affection didn't, unfortunately for Drake, have a happy ending. Now, this is the moment right here where everything changed, and I mean everything. Because after this moment right here, where Rihanna was stating that the speech Drake gave made her uncomfortable, Drake was never seen praising Riri publicly ever again. And
I
not
mean, it would
only
make
that,
sense.
but it was after this moment right here that Drake went from showing her love to taking shots at Rihanna. And the shots were completely unprovoked because this happened years later. So let's get into that. And it starts with For All the Dogs, Drake's 8th studio
Shit.
album, which was released on October 6th,
Shit.
2023. On the song Fear of Heights, Drake makes multiple subliminal references to Rihanna. He also makes some subliminal references to her current man, A$AP Rocky. On the first verse of the song, he says, "Why they make it sound like I'm still hung up on you? That could never be me. Gyal can't run me." Bad Gyal Riri is a nickname that's heavily associated with Rihanna. That's what she calls herself on Instagram, and that's what a lot of people recognize her as well. He continues and says, "Better him than me. Better it's not me. I'm anti. I'm anti." This is a reference.
Listen, I am trying my best to just Axios. Axios. Still saying it wrong. Axios. I am working on that, bro. I literally was just like, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up. I am trying my best to say this. It's just gonna take me a minute for me to just say, I'm sorry, Axios. I'm sorry, bro.
Reference to her project Anti, which dropped in 2016. He continues on a song and says, "Yeah, and the sex was average with you. Yeah, I'm anti cause I had it with you. Okay, I'm auntie like your daddy's sister. Auntie like a family picture. And I had way badder bitches than you."
Hey, wait, hold on. What? Oh, my dad did that to my mom off of the Jordan. See, I'm not gonna lie with you. Just throwing this of saying the sex was average with you. The fact that you even like this is I don't like this is what I do not like, bro. Your feelings got hurt, you got played, and now you want to go and start talking about like that's some petty shit. This is what I was saying beforehand. Like dating in this setting, being a streamer and a content creator, like stuff like that could be used as ammunition. And you know damn well it is that sex was not average. Like, boy, he was talking about seeing motherfucking fireworks and shit like that. You have been on the whole Western, like, boy, have y'all seen the little video of him being like combination? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still on that wave of trying to be this somewhat Jamaican cosplayer and Canadian, bro. Stop it. Stop it. Just say that your feelings got hurt. Just say that. Just say that. Like you being really petty and then you dropping stuff it is that the public people don't need to know. This is a furthermore of a nice little segue to go ahead and be like, listen, guys, in NDAs, non-disclosure agreements is just needed at this rate. You just never know. Somebody could just drop something like this and be on some petty shit. Now, I appreciate the good sister not paying attention to it and just going about her business, but that's some sassy nigga shit.
You, to be honest. Yeah, that man, he's still with you. He can't leave you. Y'all go on vacation, I bet it's Antigua. And then on the song Virginia Beach, Drake had some more shots aimed at Rihanna. This is what Drake says on the song. He says, "You say I could have treated you better or whatever, but I don't know. I think I did all right." You know what I'm saying? And you know how you get drawing conclusions like you got a Parsons degree or something. I could have treated you better. That's crazy. Now, the Parsons degree line was actually
the fact that this song was about her, just oh my god. Oh my god, there's no way. There's no way that was about Rihanna. There's no way. Boy, when I tell you it is me, True, Mikey, Aaron, and Simba, we was in True's car singing this shit faithfully. Like, oh my god. That's boy. There's no way. There's no way that was about her. Oh, he's petty. Oh my God, he's petty. I don't like this. I don't like this. He's petty. He's petty.
A reference to Riri, because back in 2017, Rihanna was honored by the annual Parsons School of Design benefit in New York with an award. And then on the song Late Night, Drake took some shots at A$AP Rocky and he said, I am pretty flacco, bitch. This get really rocky, what, damn, what. And then most recently, of course, he was refusing to perform the song Work, like we talked about in the beginning. And that's kind of where things end as far as this relationship Drake and Rihanna had. It started off as something that could have potentially turned into more, but there were a couple issues. The biggest one being the fact that it seems like Drake was just way more into Rihanna than she was into him. He was expressing a lot of things publicly that he could have just not expressed. And I think a lot of those things definitely contributed to the downfall of their relationship. Everything from the fact that she made him feel small to the fact that he felt hurt by her actions. Rihanna, in this decade-long, what feels like to be obsession on Drake's end, not a single time claimed Drake publicly, while he, on the other hand, was on countless occasions praising her publicly, talking about how he was in love with her since he was 22 years old. Not a single time on any occasions did she ever speak about Drake in this manner. And the thing about this relationship that they had is that Rihanna never really asked for any of this stuff. Drake did it on his own accord. He was the one who bought that billboard congratulating her. He was the one who delivered that long-ass MTV speech, which she did not ask for, and she even stated that she was uncomfortable when it was going down. So Drake, from the understanding that I have, is he did a lot of this stuff to compensate for the fact that he didn't feel good enough to be with Rihanna. And perhaps Drake thought, if I just do enough things to try to win her affection, she's gonna see how great of a guy I am. Like I said earlier,
I understand both sides of this, and especially being, I've been, I feel like we've all kind of been at a level of just like, you really like somebody and you're gonna do all this extra stuff. It is that's this, which is just plain obvious. Like that person just does not want you. That person is just not. It's you're just not for them, gang. You know, and you do all these extra things of just like, all right, well, if I do this person's going to see that I'm the one for this person. You know, and you get a lot of resentment when after all of those things is said and done and you look back at that and you're like, I did all this shit for them. I feel used. It's, you know, I feel like we've all kind of been there at that point where we've idolized or really were just infatuated by somebody and they didn't feel the same and you just feel so scorned. Like I feel it. I feel both sides. Although I don't agree with the petty things it is that he was doing, but I really do. I understand that. Like when you really like somebody and they don't like you back, and after you've done all these things for them, to just hope and pray it isn't like, all right, just give you some recognition, and it's just like, nope, you know. Plot twist: Drake leaked his own slinky to try to show her what she's been missing. You know what? You know that nigga was smiling in the video and everything, bro. That Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, bro.
straight out of a Disney movie. I mean, it couldn't be more cliche. In the end, Rihanna was actually very smart to
This nigga
reject
Babs is
Drake
stupid,
because
bro.
look how things ended. He decided to publicly go on a song of his and insinuated how the sex he had with Ree was average. I don't know what you think, but if you
I'm not gonna lie with you. Any man it is that speaks on like sex with somebody and you know damn well it is that like listen, boy, if I could find the meme and just put that up there, because I think I had bookmarked this or something. I was like, any man it is I made a certain type of way cannot talk shit about the fact that that shit was average. I was like, not that face you made, baby boy or baby girl. That wasn't the face you made. You can't say shit. Okay, so I feel like that may be how Rihanna feels. It's just like you saying, boy, stop it, get the fuck out of my face. You know, like that's weird. That's just weird. That is so weird. Like, you're gonna talk like, ugh, I don't like that.
ask
Ugh.
me, those are not the actions of a man who actually cared about this woman that he claimed he cared about. Some people might say, well, she must have done something to make him feel this way. Well, whatever it is, Rihanna never once spoke about the ins and outs of the relationship she had with Drake. I mean, from everything we know, there's proof that he was the only one who kept on bringing it up time after time.
Yes.
Not only that, but he did also, like we spoke about, have some words for her current man, A$AP Rocky, who she has 2 children with, and she does seem pretty happy with Rocky. So the real
She
question
looks
here
very
is,
happy
did Drake actually love?
And then there was a point in time where they dated before, and they stopped. She dated other people, like you know,
And respect Rihanna like he claimed? Or did he say all these things just to try to win her over? And then when that didn't work, he didn't have any incentive to keep on praising her. Because at this point, Rihanna is in a happy relationship with A$AP Rocky, and it's common knowledge that Drake is not going to get a chance at this point. And I'm sure he knows it himself. So the only way he could get back at her is by talking about her on his records. I think part of the reason why Drake switched up in this way is because for the entirety of his career, Drake played what I believe is the character of a nice guy because it was consistent with his branding. Also, him playing the character of a nice guy greatly benefited him because women have always been a very big percentage of his audience. And Drake had to keep this up in order to keep the women on his team. It wasn't until the situation with Rihanna completely died down that we started seeing a different side of Drake. After he dropped Certified Lover Boy, which was a project for the women, branding wise, he of course ended up dropping Her Loss, which was a more raw and aggressive side of him. And Her Loss accomplished 2 things. Number 1, it added some street credibility to his brand. And the second thing it accomplished, since it was a project for the guys, Drake ended up re-engaging and ended up gaining a lot more male fans to his audience. So Drake has kind of been playing both sides for the last 2 to 3 years. He's, however, unlike the past, heavily leaning into that, savage aura / archetype rather than the nice guy archetype. Because now Drake doesn't really have to pander to the women like he did for the entirety of his career, since now it's not really exclusive to his brand. And that explains why Drake, in relation to women these days, he's projecting this energy of, like a future
like
in
a
comparison
dickhead.
to the lover boy. Another unspoken reason why Drake might be doing this is because, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know if you pay attention to content on the internet, there's a lot of content on the internet these days that revolves around hating women, and you find that type of content specifically in the red pill space. And a lot of the people who live and die by that type of content, they also more often than not support artists, male artists in hip-hop who kind of lean into the archetype of a Future. This is actually one of the reasons why Future is so popular amongst young men. I'm going to make a video specifically discussing that soon, but for a lot of young men who consume this women hating content, they're also heavily drawn to these types of rappers. And this is one of the reasons why Drake has stopped not only pandering to women, but he's so comfortable going at women in his records. So I think how Drake is addressing Rihanna in these records that he's making is just a marketing ploy in order to push a new brand that he's trying to lean into. In the end, why Rihanna decided to reject Drake is pretty clear if you ask me. One could say that Robin Fenty dodged a bullet here, because as soon as Drake realized that he couldn't have her anymore because she's together with another man and they look pretty happy together, Drake turned his back on her. I'm sure you're going to have your own conclusions as to why she decided to reject him in the end. Anyway, if you made it this far, could you do me a favor and like this video? Show me that you
Absolutely, bro.
appreciate this great conversation. And also, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Any thoughts on this topic though? Why Rihanna rejected Drake? You guys know how their relationship started. You guys know the ins and outs. You guys know the story. Now I want to hear what you have to say. So I'm
gonna go ahead. I'm gonna like this. This was a very interesting video. This was a very interesting video. A little, the recording was a little bit longer than it needed to be, but that's fine. But overall, I think maybe it was best that she didn't go for Drake. It seemed like she wouldn't have been happy with them. And that's fine. That's fine. I just hope and pray it is that like Drake finds that level of healing, and to also kind of like leave the whole Caribbean thing alone, even though you're not Caribbean gang. And just that throwing shots towards women thing, all those people it is that be like on that red pill side. We've already talked about that before, and how I think it's a little weird, the level of just like projecting hate towards women. It says a lot about you as the man, but But hey, listen, Blackie Speaks. Thank you. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. And shout outs to you at home. I will catch y'all in the next video.